like as we yesterday covered, like weights. Okay, another one, how to take the screenshot. So this it is a very simple concept. And what are the most common exceptions? Even recent days in interviews also many people are asking, that also we'll see briefly. And basically, as you know, so to avoid such kind of exceptions only, we will use generally weights and as well as exception handling, that is try except blocks. Okay, and so that is what first concept I will tell you first, by this most common selenium exceptions. So then we can go with weights concept. Okay, so I hope you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as I mentioned already, so what is exception handling in Selenium? That is already explained to you all people. So I hope you remember. So generally, when we are getting some kind of exception in any program, basically it will stop the execution by that line, and it won't continue the remaining execution. Basically, that is the biggest problem what generally we have in the automation scripting. Okay, but if you want to avoid such kind of skip, I mean that termination of execution because of one line execution, so we will generally use the exception handling concept that is already explained, that is try except blocks. So I hope you remember. Did anyone miss that class, or everyone is on track that one? Try except concept. Hello?
Yes. Okay, sir.
Yeah, can I repeat once again that same topic? Yeah, let's take we'll take simple example. Okay, here I'm taking let's take which one. Okay, select demo, we can take it. Okay, so this is what we covered yesterday. Okay, right? So for example, here linked text internships are there, and after that we are trying to executing the drop down by selecting the MCA. This is first I will try to execute this, and then I will showcase like what is the issue if I'm not using the try catch for each find element. You can understand. Okay, so now I'm just running this block. Okay, and yeah, so I executed it. So on the same example we'll do some kind of experiments. Okay, so that you can understand. Okay, see here. So the execution is done. Okay. Now in this same example, just what I want to do here is I want to even verify that the page heading is there correctly or not. Okay. So let's take example. I'm taking another screen. So whatever we run it now. Okay. I'm going for internship, same page only. Okay, so here I'm just going for internship. So see, now in previous example, if you observe that what we did is directly we are selecting the option in the drop down called select, right? But now before that I just want to check that whether this headings is there or not, like whether this internship heading is there or not. Okay, so that is what I want do this, I want to execute it. So for that anyway you can use the text operation. If anything like other export will be there, we can use it. So first we'll try to get the export, and I will try to verify that. My intention is to verify that. Okay, whether this internship content is there or not. Just to that, let's take example. Yeah, OL title is there. Okay, or else as we know already, like So anyway, we'll try first of all. Okay. So OL title, right? Yes, star, and here class is equal to single close OL hyphen, so hyphen title. Okay. Yeah, so it is having, see, totally four titles, such kind of titles. We have four titles are there. So what we will do, we can use the like any, like I think it is not the that one. We'll see what happens. Yeah, second one, that one. But see, if you observe that it is in the about us what do you call section. Okay, so I will use that one as a sub level. Okay, so for that I'm using class is equal to that one. Okay, so now you see about a section completely selected, and it is having only one of one. That means it is as taken as a parent, and now slash slash you can use that. Now what is that? So slash slash, now you can write what is the element name here, h2. Okay, and see, anyway it's got selected because under the div we have only one h2, so there is no doubt. But still, if you want to highlight with that specifically, we can use at that class also. So at that class is equal to ol title. So this is another approach, as I mentioned in export, right? If you remember, if you don't have directly unique element of the respective element, we can use the parent to refer it. So now you see, if I'm using the only OL title, it's showing four items, but when I'm concatenating with the parent, it is showing only one. So like that, you can also configure the exports. Okay. So now I'm trying to predict, getting the text here over the first one before streaming. I mean that after time dot sleep. Okay. So now here, let's take heading. I'm taking as a heading driver dot find element. Okay. Yeah, find element, and where I'm writing by dot xpath, yeah, comma, within double quotes we can use the same xpath. So this is what I'm telling you now. Try to understand the writing of xpaths. Okay, this is very important for your upcoming practices. Okay, and now print, I'm taking very simple htmg dot text. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do, I'm just taking the heading text, and then I'm going for select. Okay, so now I'm going for running this again. Okay, just check it whether it's working fine or not, then we can do the experiments on this. Yeah, you see, if you observe that the title is printed over here, and even see the content what we mentioned internships is printed, and then whatever the data we are looping in the for loop, it's printed. Okay, now we got everything right. So to make it even, see, some the title is printing after the 100%, right? To make it in the new line, what you have to do means slash and you can use, so it will come to the new line. Okay. Yeah, so the next thing what we want to do here is experiment. See, now I'm telling a simple example. Let's take here. I'm writing the an export wrongly. Title 123. As we know that kind of export is not there. Okay, so definitely the export, if I'm the locator, if I'm giving wrong means obviously this element will throw an exception called find element not found exception. Okay, so the problem here is, see, because we are just reading the text of the heading and we are trying to do other operation. But because of this particular error, it does not allow you to continue the other code because it is failed. So by itself, it will stop the execution, it get out of the respective execution. So this is the biggest drawback generally when we are running the multiple find elements in the single program. without try catch. So if one of the find element failed or one of the element is not able to find, then automatically it will stop execution and it won't execute the other program lines. So that is the biggest drawback what we have. So to avoid that, whenever you write the find element, better to write in the try except blocks. Okay, so then the respective thing only will skip out and remaining will be executed. And again, as I mentioned, there will be a mandatory and optional. Like for example, if you go for line number 16, internships click, if that is failed, we can't do anything, because once it is open the page only we can do. So for that we can't skip it. So like that, you have to understand what to skip and what not to skip. So whenever you want to skip some code, even though it is failed, doesn't care about it, then you can go for what we called try x block. That is what I already mentioned you, software sessions basically. Okay, so now you see it came for page, but unfortunately the export we given wrong, so definitely we stop there and it will throw an error. See that? Yes, see, your test case failed by throwing an exception. The export, if you see even the error also, clearly he mentioned that. Okay, so now also like you can track the errors also, exactly what is the error. Like you see, no head collected one item. Yeah, the demo is failed. What is the demo? See in which line it is failed, you can observe that. See, this is the line which we failed because we are intentionally given the wrong export, right? So the line is getting failed. What is that failed? You can also, that also you can check through somewhat like, yeah, see that status 404. See, no such element, unable to locate an element. See, but after that it is correct, stream is correct and the code whatever we written correct only, but because of that line it doesn't able to continue the execution. See, it stopped immediately and it won't run even other lines. See that, if you observe that. So this is the biggest drawback when we are going for real-time scripting. It should not be exit like this. So even though that will be skip out, it has to go for next element because it is optional, means it's only plain text. So now for that, to overcome such kind of issues, we should raise the try except blocks. That is what we called as exception handling in Selenium. Okay, so please try to understand exception handling Selenium is not something different. It is a concept from Python only, but why we will use, that is a scenario or that is the use case. Okay, now so the same example, you see what I'm writing, try. Okay, now put these two lines, whatever the lines in that try block, because once it is done it will print it. And now except, okay, okay, except what is the exception we are getting? File not found exception, right? But it's, see, if you are not really know the what exception it may get, then simply you can write super exception. Okay, simply you can write exception as ex, that is reference. And now within this, if you want to print the exception, yes, you can print exception, print ex. Okay, or else you just skip it, you can skip it and you can run something else. Okay, but if you know the exception, you can specify mention the exception also. Like example, if you see here, what is the exception we are getting here, you clearly mention that, see that no such element exception. So if you know such that kind of message, you can mention that that only directly, no such element. But if you don't know the name of the exception, you can write generically exception like this also. So both options will be available. It is up to you whether you want to use this particular name of the exception, or you can use directly, I'm writing in the comment anyway, but you can use the super exception also. Now you see, if I'm running the same program, even if I'm giving the right or wrong, it doesn't care, it will run the entire code. For example, first I will try it with right one. Okay, I mean the correct one. So what happened, we'll see. First one. So this is the exception handling concept in what you called Selenium. Okay. So anyway, we given correctly, so it doesn't make any problem. So it will execute the code automatically, like it has to run the code correctly. So yeah, so everything is done. Now we have to go back to the code once again. Yes. See, test case passed, it definitely will show the test case passed along with your content. Yes, see that all the content printed and test case passed. Okay. Now you see the same thing as I mentioned. I will give the wrong. That means some wrong export. Now though we given wrong, it doesn't give any problem, it will happily execute the code you see, because we written try except. But if you're not, you understood the initial what happened. Okay, so now you can check it out. So this concept only we called as exception handling. And how many types of exceptions? So definitely there is a lot many, like almost 50 plus exceptions will rise at the time of Selenium execution. But out of that 50, what are the most common? Like one of the no such element exception. Like that, what are the common exceptions we may observe in the Selenium, that I will point out after this execution. Okay. So that generally asked by the people, many people in the interviews. What common exceptions you may observe in the automation scripting? Yeah, see that now MCA came, it doesn't make any problem, even though we given the wrong export, it doesn't make any sense. MCA selected, see that if you observe that, that is the beauty of the exception handling. Okay, and even test case also doesn't make any fail, it will pass it, because we written the try except blocks. Yes, see that passed. But you see, like if you observe that, see our drop down data came, okay, but whatever I mentioned, right, the exception, see the exception data printed, but it doesn't stop any execution. See, it is clearly mentioned that, see, no such element, unable to locate element, export selector is giving. The error it is showing, but it doesn't stop the execution, it continues the remaining execution. This is the advantage of the try except. So all of you understood, or any doubt as of now? Please. It even it is applicable in Java also. Same. In Java also, if you write the try catch, it will execute, behave like this. If you not write the try catch, it will stop the execution. So you can, if you have any doubt, you can speak up, Nana. Otherwise, I will go to the next point. Is it clear? Exception handling concept clear for everybody? Why we, what is exception, you understand, right? So exceptions are some problems or some errors which are getting at the time of execution, not by compilation. See, for example, if I am giving this bracket wrongly, so now here itself showing the error. See that if you observe that some radical remark is there, this is we call compile time or syntax errors. Okay, these errors definitely we have to fix at the time of typing the program. But some sort of issues, until unless you are executing the program, you cannot identify, you cannot observe that. So that kind of problems only we called exceptions or runtime errors. Okay, so to avoid such kind of exceptions only, we use try except blocks in the Selenium scripts. This is the conclusion of the program, this class. So if you have any doubt, please raise it, or else I will go to the next point. So all of you, I'm asking to everybody, is it clear? You can,
Clear.
yeah, fine, fine, good. Then I will go to the next point. Okay, so as I mentioned, right, 1 second, where is the topic? Yeah. So exception handling is completed, right? Now you understood, and I will share this link also. These are the Selenium. These are the common exceptions we may get in the Selenium scripting. So if you have to remember this one. So first one, no such window exception. So if you remember yesterday I covered that window handling, right? You are trying to switching from one window to another window, but the actual window is not available over there. Then we will get this error called no such window exception. And no such frame, same example, frame handling, we are trying to switching from one frame to another frame, right? But if that frame is not available, we'll get this exception. No such element, just now we got it, like the locator or the element what we are trying to find it in the application, if it is not able to, if it is not there, we'll get this one. Same alert, yesterday I show you. So these are all, you know, no such window, no such frame, no such alert, all are window handling. No such element means element. Invalid selector exception, that means whatever the selector we used, that is not properly you given. Like example, the syntax of export you given wrongly, so then we are getting this one. Timeout exception, definitely it is common exception. Whenever you are trying to getting something but which is not available within the time, example, it will get morely on waits. For example, you specially mentioned for 5 seconds to wait, but within that 5 seconds also you are not getting, or you won't get any element, for example. So in that case you will get an exception timeout, so that it is waited for 5 seconds, but though you are not getting the element. And not visible means, you know that, so locator is there but element is not visible on the screen. No, element not selectable or not clickable, that means when we are trying to select some content, or when we are trying to click something, we got this exception. And stale element reference exception, I explained already, very very important one. And most of the interviews also asking, stale element exception means the element which is located for the initially, but second time you are not able to find it. So such exception we call stale element. It means the locator whatever you are using, maybe id or class or xbar, that is keep on changing for the respective element. So in that cases this stale element reference exception will be coming. Okay, so these are the list of exceptions. Generally common exceptions are selenium. So general interview questions question also. So what are the exceptions you may get generally while you're executing the selenium scripts? So these are the list you have to by heart or you have to remember, but it is important, and I will share this link in the chart also. So even you have the meaning also, each exception meaning also you can understand. Okay, so this is the first topic what I want to tell you today. Okay, so any doubts as of now please ask me, or else I will go to the next topic. Is it clear everybody? Can you confirm once? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great. All of you. Okay, okay. Yeah, so obviously as I mentioned already, the next topic will be weights. Okay, so here as I mentioned in our program also, if you observe that keep on we are writing time dot sleep, time dot sleep, time dot sleep, like that. Okay, so but time dot sleep also will help you to wait for some time, but the only drawback of time dot sleep is we can also call it as a forcible wait. Means what do you mean by time dot sleep? Means that specified number of seconds it will hold the resume the execution. So that means like whenever you are running the program, it will wait for that time and it will continue the execution. Okay, but ultimately what is our idea? For example, if you consider here only find element dot click be written. Okay, so why we written time dot sleep means when we click on the internship link, it may take some time to load the web page, maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds. That's why we keep on that. But let us assume that the web page is loaded within the 1 second only. Okay, though the sleep method doesn't go to the execution, it will still wait for 3 seconds and will go for execution. That means even though the execution completed within the time what you specified, it doesn't release the time from the processor, it will hold that processor. So that is major drawback of the sleep method. So that's why instead of sleep, selenium providing two other approaches, that is implicit wait and explicit wait. So implicit wait means the wait which we specified will applicable for each driver transaction. Like example, how many times you are writing driver.find element, that many times the sleep will be applicable. For example, every time you want to apply the 3 seconds, then simply you can define implicit wait for 3 seconds. Then you can ask, sir, that also 3 seconds, this is what is the difference? Two differences. One difference, no need to write every time time dot sleep of 3, time dot sleep of 3. One time is only one declaration is enough. The second advantage, implicit wait, as I mentioned, it doesn't wait all the time 3 seconds whatever you specify. For example, if the element was found at 1 second only, then immediately it will release that other 2 seconds, it will continue the execution. It won't wait for 3 seconds at that time. For example, if element takes 2 seconds, then it will release the one more second. Like that, on dynamically, it will decide. That's why we call that are knowledge based weights or knowledge base conditions. Why? Because all the time it will keep on checking whether the element is visible or not. If visible, it will release. If not visible, it will wait. But time dot sleep is not like that. Whether it's visible or not, until your specified time interval, it will keep on holding. So any doubt as of now? Sleep versus waits is clear for everyone. So implicit wait, as I mentioned, the syntax is very straightforward. So we have driver dot implicitly wait function. So once you return the driver dot implicitly wait for 10, like 10 means 10 seconds, 2 means 2 seconds, then it will applicable for. So then it will applicable for each find element whatever we have in the program. Okay, like driver dot find element we have right here, like that how many times it is there, that many times it will applicable. So it's very simple to write also, only one line is so now that is what we written here, driver dot implicitly wait. Okay, so this is also I'm sharing implicit wait, nothing more complicated and more logical, it is there, one line of code, that's it. Okay, that is implicitly wait. So whenever you want to write, you can define it. Otherwise, you don't require to define. That's the only one line of code. But when coming for explicit wait, again the drawback of implicit wait, by that only you can understand. So whether you required or not required, for every time it will take that specified time for entire program. But generally the ultimate idea of explicit, and in real time also, out of 100%, 95% we will use explicit wait only, because this is more reasonable and more flexible wait in the selenium. Whenever wherever you required you can use it, if it doesn't require you can skip it. So that is major advantage of explicit wait. Means, like for example, out of 3 elements you want to use for only one element, yes, you can define the explicit wait for that case. Like that, explicit wait is more efficiently will work for the selenium. And also explicit wait will take whatever the time interval based on condition. Like example, as I mentioned, until the element visible, until the element click. So like that you can mention the condition. So if the condition is satisfied, immediately it will release the time and it will go for next one. So like if you observe that here, for that we will define an object called WebDriver wait. So this is the new object what we are writing. So I will share this syntax, and also remember, explicit wait always we are writing in the try catch, I mean the try except, it won't be written independently. Okay. And here what do you mean by exactly explicit wait means? See, first we have to write the WebDriver wait for given time of how much time, whatever that seconds you want you can give it. This is very important. See, until the condition, this is what I told you, until what condition you want to made up. Like for example, if you see here, until EC means expected condition, presence of element located. So what do you mean by presence of element means the locator whatever you are giving, until the locator found, this wait will be wait. And also maximum wait, what is the 10 seconds. See here two things. One, either the maximum time interval has to be happen, or the element has to be found. Either of the condition which is first comes, that particular wait will be executed. But if your element found initially, it won't raise any error, it will just simply execute it. But if the 10 seconds completed, then it will raise an exception called timeout exception. That is what just before explained. So timeout exception will come here in this case, explicit waits. So likewise, we have so many expected conditions. So these are the expected conditions what generally we have in the selenium, like title is, title contains, presence of element, and visibility of element, and alert is present. So these are the different conditions which commonly used in the selenium script. Just you can read one by one, but always we'll use WebDriver wait. So this is the two waits generally we used in the Python to wait for a particular element instead of time.sleep. But three are applicable. Time.sleep we can use, implicit, explicit, but more best one, if you ask me, explicit wait is the best option. And I will share these two links also with you. You can try these. Are once you can try explicit wait, and implicit wait also you can try. And as I mentioned, explicit wait just before we return, right, that exception handling, yes, here in this. Okay, for this only you can implement explicit wait also. Okay. But if you can try it, if not getting, anyway Monday I will show you practically on in our class that waits concept for each different examples. Okay. And last the topic will be what this is for today, screenshot capturing. Okay, anyway before going to screenshot, is it clear that waits concept, why we will use, and what is the advantage comparatively time.sleep, and how many types we have? Is it clear everybody? హలో హలో నాన్న బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్ చేయలేదు, ఎవరు మాట్లాడలేదు.
హలో
వినిపిస్తుందా?
వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
మాట్లాడట్లేదు ఏంట్రా మరి? నేను గట్టిగా మాట్లాడుతున్నా, మరి అడుగుతున్నాగా మీకే. మీరు చెప్తే కదా నాకు అర్థమయ్యేది మీరు వింటున్నారా లేదా స్లీప్ చేస్తున్నారా అనేది.
వింటున్నాను సార్.
Okay, done. So the last topic for today is, as I mentioned already, screenshot. So as I mentioned already, screenshot also is an inbuilt method, is available in what do you call Python. So no need to do any external work, very simple here. If you observe that, see, driver save screenshot followed by file name, that's it. This line will help you to get the screenshot in the PNG file, and definitely the path we can specify while we are writing the program where we want to save that screenshot. So generally when we will capture the screenshot in any application means, when we want to like take the screenshot when we getting error, generally when a test case passed, mostly we are not capturing any screenshot. But when test case failed, why it is failed and on which page or which screen it is failed to track it, we will capturing the screenshot generally. And that screenshot programmatically we can do very easily in Python compared to Java. We have almost 4 to 6 lines of code, but in Python only one line of code we have. Save screenshot will take the picture. Along with that, other options also we have, save screenshot and even save screenshot as. If you observe the methods, so directly it is a driver methods only, nothing to install anything also. So driver dot, if you click it, you will have the methods, right? So where you can find, you go see, this is the save screenshot, and even we have other options also, screenshot, see that. Yes, see that, save screenshot we have option, and get screenshot as file, and get screenshot as png, and get screenshot base. Totally 4 methods are available. Out of these 4 methods, whichever you comfortable, we can use that method. All are used to screenshot capturing only. Okay, so these 4 methods are built in, available in the driver only, that means inbuilt available in selenium only. We can use wherever you require the screenshots. Okay, so this is screenshot option, very simple concept. Okay, but anyway, this execution, as I mentioned already, I will explain this concept in the Monday Monday I will take the execution part of this all 3 topics. So one is screenshot, another one is weights. Okay, once it is done, I will start the concept called actions class. So Monday class will be that only. After execution of these 2 programs, I will start topic of actions class. Don't miss it, that is very important. Like to perform the keyboard events and mouse events, like to enter the enter button, or to do the drag and drop, or to move to mouse over element. Like example, if you see here, you see, when I'm mouse hovering, menu is coming. By default it is not coming, right? So to do such kind of element sub menu, like we can't click on directly that element. See, first we have to drag the mouse and keep here, and then we can click on it. So such kind of things also we can done through actions class only. Okay, so these are the things we can do in the Monday class. Don't miss the Monday class, is very important. Okay, so please try to do the practice of other concepts parallelly. Okay, and if you have any other doubts also, and tomorrow anyway holiday, Saturday, Sunday, so please try to do the practice of all the things what we covered so far. And Monday will start it. So mostly as for our commitment, by next Friday we will complete everything. Okay, so what are the topics we are having in Selenium Python automation, we'll trying to complete it everything. So if anything there, we'll see that later. Okay, but mostly we'll try to complete everything. Okay. Yeah, so anything else if you want to ask, or otherwise I'm closing the session for today. So please try to do these things, and as I mentioned, try to read the theory also. So because in interviews they will ask, interviews are not only interview, once you join the job also you required to ask, tell the answers also, like exceptions and these weights, at least basic content. Okay, you have to read the theory also, like, okay. And even if you have the time permits, so interview questions like that. Okay, you can read daily interview questions on Selenium. You can read daily so that you can ask me. You can ask some questions to me also. Like for example, if you see here, you can see some theory. Like it might help you to brainstorming. Like you can keep on reading these words. It will help you to understand the what is topics and everything. Like see. These are the different interview questions. Theoretical main these interview questions will help you to get the some theory points. That is very important. Okay, yeah, so try to read this theory, and you can ask me the questions also if you have any doubts in that. Okay, yeah, bye now, take care, and if you have anything you can ping me in WhatsApp. Okay, someone is speaking. Bye, take care.